Well, I'll tell you, this has been a really big week for Warner Brother movies for me this week. And again, of course, I'm coming to you today for another movie review. And tonight, I'm going to be reviewing a movie called Blinded by the Light. And that review is going to be coming to you right now. So this movie takes us to the year 1987, where we follow a young Pakistani boy who grows up in the town in Luton, Britain, and him and his childhood best friend Matt, they grow up in this small town, and we see the two of them kind of take like different paths in life, but they're best friends. They made a pact when they were younger that they were going to be best friends forever. And while Matt is an English boy who grows up, his family has money, he has his own place, he has his band, he has the girl, he has it. In some cases, people idolize it as saying that he is the ideal kid from Luton, England at the time, and his best friend Javed, he's a Packy boy, so he's under very strict circumstances where his dad, wants him to focus on school so that he can get a good job and make money. And, he's under a lot of supervision. His dad is there to really supervise his every steps that he takes. Again, his dad puts tons of emphasis on making sure you just stay focused in school, and by his rules, and no one has opinions in this house but the dad. The dad is the household leader, and everyone has to follow suit. And while this time is happening, like, it's a really strange time in England at this time, where there's a lot of radicals and extremists, and the Pakistans, the people want all of the Pakistanians to leave the country, as they were coming off the heels of war. The economy is trash, so we see his dad, who's been working for the GM plant for years, gets lays off his job, which sends the family in swirls, and just a lot is going on, and tons of tons of pressure. Again, while you have with so much, with the extremists and the radicals around, you have them attacking and vandalizing the Pakistans, where we see instances of their houses being vandalized by paint. We see Javed at a point actually be spit on, and it's a really difficult time. But Javed wants to grow up and is inspired, and he's done so since he was younger, in writing. He wrote in his diary, he writes poems. While his dad wants him to go into school for economics, he goes in for literature, and he's just inspiring to be a writer. He even writes for his friend Matt, for his band. He writes lyrics for his songs, and Matt even realizes that his lyrics are really driven by pain and struggle. And Matt, he's the man of the band. He has a girl, and he's like, hey, when you gonna start making songs about girls? What they want to hear. And Javed can't really relate because he doesn't have a girl. He hasn't met a girl because family and his surroundings doesn't allow him to meet a girl. But he continues to push forward to be an inspiring writer in different forms of poetry and lyricism and so forth. But so Javed, he attends what they call the Luton Sixth Form College, and on his first day of attending that school, because his dad moved his family to the town, and it was his dad's dream to be able to move his family there, support his family, and ultimately be successful. But again, like I said, the GM plant, because of the economy, ended up laying over tons of workers. Dad lost his job. That sent the whole family into a swirl, and even at the time, this really kind of lost. It made Javed lose motivation to write. But he attends this college, and his first day of attending college, he bumps into another Pakistani kid, and he drops his cassette tape. And when he drops his cassette tape, his friend that goes by the name of Roops, that he says, "That's the boss." He's like, "The boss," and he walks away. Come to find out, he's Pakistani, and eventually, and another important thing, Javed, once he enters the cafeteria, just like most of us when we attend high school or junior college, as this is, you kind of see how people are paired off, and you analyze the room. You have groups of golfs there. You got the hip hop crew. You got all the different things, and there was really no place for Javed to sit. But the guy that he bumped into in the hallway ends up becoming one of his close friends, as there's a connection because they're both Pakistani. And he asks him, "Hey, what are you writing?" And Javed's like, "Oh, I'm just writing." And he's like, "Well, who's the boss?" And come to find out, the boss is the nickname for the late great Bruce Springsteen. And since then, things really took off because Roop said, "Why don't you have these tapes, and I promise it'll change your life." And again, fast forward into after the incident of his dad losing his jobs, and it really changed the family landscape because dad is now not being able to bring on the money, so the mom has happened to increase her workload, and and Javed goal of being a writer is kind of put on hold because now he's may be forced to be having to work. One of the sisters get married, the other sister is younger, and she's still not she's not able to support at the time, and he just lost all motivation to write. But in this time, this is when he turns on his first listen to Bruce Springsteen, and it took off from there. The obsession just quickly grew, and it really motivated him because what he found in Bruce Springsteen's lyrics was motivation, and he felt a lot of himself in these lyrics. And you see scenes where he's going down basically an inner storm of memories and triggers where these lyrics paint a picture for the things he was going through as if Bruce was speaking to him. And this automatically cut the trigger back on that he says, I gotta fulfill my dream in being a writer. Bruce Springsteen played a cautiousness for Javed. He was the person that his lyrics painted a solution for every scenario for him. He was not just, he was a consciousness for him. He was his courage, his motivation. Bruce lyrics pushed Javed to the next level to be and untap the potential that he's always had in him, but just lacked the motivation since nothing around him helped him to do so. Since he didn't have the family support, he didn't have the girlfriend, he didn't have the opportunities. Society was evil to him. But Bruce, who would have ever thought the lyrics in Bruce Springsteen song spoke to him that did this guy wonders moving forward. And Bruce was just the savior for everything for him. It greatly enhanced his writing skills and motivation. He got recognition from their landlord, who was a British vet who's fought in war, who typically had not paid attention to Javed in any manner. That he gained the respect. His teacher noticed that his writing was better. He's even had the newspaper department, the lead of them, take heed to his work. And even down the line, he got a whole new groove. He got a whole new swag. He started dressing different. He had a little bit more pep in his step. He went after the girl he wanted. There was even a connection, which was weird because, again, Javed never really got the endorsement from his dad. But Matt, his best friend dad, took heed to him where, Matt's dad's like, oh, this guy knows good music. Even though he doesn't endorse Matt's music choice, there was a connection there. So while all this is happening, Bruce is speaking to him and everything's starting to go his way, you just see Javed just push forward in his work and his craft to just really, get, the things he wants to talk about, the things he wants to tell, to get them out there and get it being listened to. And Javed, all he really wants to do, he just wants to be a writer. He wants to go to school in Manchester, and he wants to stand up for himself because he never really had he never really had the courage or the opportunity to stand up for himself and do what he wanted to do for a change. So he had to listen to his dad. He had to deal with the racism, prejudice that was all around in his town. So you just see how Bruce's lyrics speaks to him in a ways that makes him a better person. Eventually, he gets the girl. He gets the recognition. He gets the job eventually of being a writer for the Luton newspaper. He gets a front page article. He even gets opportunities that really never presents himself for people, where you see his teacher enters one of his writings into a contest. He wins the contest. The contest gets him invited to a conference in America where he gets to go to New Jersey, which is very close to his hero's hometown. Excuse me, his hero's hometown, where he gets to go, sightsee and see all the motivations that really got Bruce to being the person he was, and his childhood home, places he's written at, stuff like that. So you do see a lot of that going on in the wedding. But this movie was so good because it just filled with it was filled with a lot. It had a really good story. It had all of it has that feel good mode. It was a feel good story because it showed what I like to see in humanity. People go through struggle to actually persevere throughout of it, and you got good laughs, good smiles. Just a lot of good stuff came out of this, and the cast of people are really people who don't have a huge resume, but there was some really stellar performances. Like the mom, I thought was so good, really good. It really resonated in a mother figure like I haven't seen no other. It's just really, really, really good. Another important thing is that when I talk about the laughs, the humor is like the adults in this movie. As much as this was about, Javed and Roops and Matt and even his girl, Eliza, the adults really had a lot of good moments. Like the dad, Matt's dad, the teacher. Even there's one scene where he goes through customs upon entering America. Like the adults had some really, really, really good funny moments. Like the dad constantly thinks because the dad preaches so much about getting a job or just doing the Jewish thing, that he kept referring to Bruce Springsteen as an American Jew, and he wasn't. So the dad performance was obviously really good, really emotional. I mean, this movie was just down the line really, really good, based on a true story as well too. So you make sure you stay through the mid credits because you do get to see the real photography of who these the people that this was based on. But even still, to another important thing is that this movie had tons of great music by Bruce, obviously. And even at a point, it turns to a full-blown musical. You got dancing scenes running through the streets and everything. So it was good. One thing I would like to say is that, so people want to, when it comes down to a movie being so focused on the artist, you don't have to know who Bruce Springsteen is or his music, which you've probably heard some of his music because his music has been timeless for over the years. That you don't really have to be familiar with him in order to appreciate this movie, because this movie is such a feel-good movie. It's one of those movies, like even his last speech, which was called My American Dream in Luton, is pretty much what this movie is about. It's about the American dream, about the people that want to go out, chase their dreams, and be successful. And that exactly is what it was. And I just thought it was just really, really good. I went into this movie not knowing much about what the plot was going to be and so forth. Stayed away from trailers, and I quickly looked at the rating online, and it was legit deserving of the score, because I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie. As again, if you are a fan of just good music, good storytelling, the American dream, or just anybody who wants to go out and chase their dreams, you would appreciate this to the utmost, because it was really special. But again, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the review. Always showing love and support. All the comments and everything you guys leave and the retweeting and all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And again, I hope you stay locked in, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys for the next review.
I